Hello everybody, today I would like to tell you 15 short conversation between two people. Conversation 1. The woman complained to the man they had planned the meeting for that afternoon. However, when Mrs. Johnson hadn't arrived the night before and they had postponed it, the man wanted to know if would be there the day after. The woman disagreed with him and she said she had called that evening to say they should reschedule the meeting for next week. Conversation 2. The man said to the woman his secretary had made a reservation for him for the 16th of January. The woman wanted to know how many days. The man replied to her for 6. But if his wife came, she would stay until the 26th. Conversation 3. The man wanted to know what was the delay. He had been waiting for an hour. The woman replied to him he would be there for another 30 minutes at least. The police weren't letting any through until 6. The man commented he should have stayed at the office. Conversation 4. The woman said to the man he had been going the Tech Friday and not came back until Tuesday. The man was happy about that. He said a 4-day weekend. The woman commented except she had been told to be there first thing Monday morning. Conversation 4. The woman said to the man that was a last train to Osaka. The man disagreed with her. He said that there were 2 more after that. They left every 30 minutes. The woman supposed half past 8 had been too early for the last. Conversation 6. The man said to the woman the meeting Friday morning would be over by noon, so he would be home the next day. The woman replied to him they were having company Sunday, so she hoped he would be there. The man commented he would be home before then. Conversation 7. The woman said to the man she would go until the week after next. The man replied to her that means she would be back too late to have them. The woman agreed with her. Her lawyer was coming that afternoon. Conversation 8. The man complained to the woman it was very hot that day. The woman replied to him according to the records. The last time it had been that hot had July 18, 1970. The man was surprised by that. He said that had been his 8th wedding anniversary. Conversation 9. The woman A complained to the woman B. Their Australian plane wouldn't be ready until June. The woman B replied to the woman A that was too late. They had been to operation in January. The woman A commented June was earliest. They needed 6 more months. The conversation 10. The man said to the woman Redcar had started buying their stock last July. The woman wanted to know how many shares they held then. The man commented in October they hadn't bought 15,000. They must have over 6% and at that rate 8% by January. The next conversation. The woman said to the man she was very tired that day. They had got back to come out trip into late the night before. The man agreed with her. He said they had to spend a week skiing at a mount. and he wanted to know how it had been. The woman replied that it had been fantastic. She couldn't remember the time before she had had so much fun. She wanted to know if the man was planning to take a vacation soon. The man disagreed with her. He said he had to weigh in for return his business trip to Hong Kong. He was planning to rest the house at the beach for first week of August. The man said to the woman they needed to plan the following day's meeting. Its schedule started at 8:30, and he thought they had to have financial report first. The woman agreed with him. She commented Sherry should speak second because she was going to introduce New York project. The man agreed with her. Then he thought it would be time for a coffee break. He suggested putting time presentation after coffee break and taking it after lunch. The man agreed with him. She said after lunch they could go over the quarterly report and organize a planning committee. She thought they could manage to cover everything before the end of the time. The next conversation. The woman was sorry about the fact that she didn't see the man's name anywhere on her reservation list. The man replied to her he called to make that reservation for a week before, so he had to reserve single room 4 times a week. He showed his reservation number. The woman commented they didn't think to have it here, but she could do that. She said she would give him a double room for 2 nights and chose him for a single. Then at the Wednesday, he could move in the single room for the rest of the week. She suggested giving him a voucher for 3 dinners in their restaurant. The woman agreed with her. He thought that would put out and thanked for the meal ticket. The last conversation. The man said, "Welcome to city tour." He said they would be leave in just 5 minutes for the Natural History Museum. The woman agreed with him. She hoped they could spend almost morning there. The man replied to her, actually they had to leave there by 11. Then if it didn't rain, they had a walking tour of the nearby monuments before arriving at her restaurant at 12. Then it was after the art museum before afternoon. The woman was surprised by that. She hoped they didn't have to walk too far, and she had to wait till the following day to get in the shopping restaurants. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.